So then how do you cut a deal with crazy people? They're also very hard to negotiate. I spoke to the president about this personally,
Very
that they move very slowly. They have huge layers of bureaucracy so that it's hard to get through. He says he doesn't even know who he's talking to some of the time. He said that publicly too. That's what he said to me before. He's only echoed that in the press. Then how do you go about, this is what's interesting because day to day, we're tracking markets, we're tracking oil prices, and people are trying to read tea leaves here. How do you read tea leaves when you're negotiating with crazy people who are notoriously difficult?
Yeah. Well, Alex, that's the great question. So first of all, Americans are really good to deal with. Like we like to do deals. We do a lot of deals. I would say Europeans are good to do deals with. We all share common things. The Iranians are probably the hardest people to do deals with in the world, right? They have an ancient society. They're very tough negotiators. And that goes for even American Iranians. I mean, these are people that are hard to do a deal with. They're very tough. But you get into this IRGC where it's like a mafia hard, because these are the gangsters that run the country. There's about 31 different decentralized nodes with different leaders. And so it's really hard to take this on when you don't have one central person that's going to be the pivot. There's no president.
Right.
It's diffuse. And I'm not sure how much power really this mullah has. I think the IRGC is basically in control at this point. And I do believe that President Trump is going to have to go in and do a little more to just wake them up. They think that they're winning, or at least that's what their line is. Do you remember Baghdad Bob during the Iraq War? The guy would come out, he would say just crazy lies all day, every day. And I mean, you could laugh, but that's kind of what the Iranian press is doing now, is they're just making things up and saying crazy things. But because there's maybe an idea of the truth or something that people can hook on, I think probably there's a certain segment of the Iranian population and maybe people living in the Gulf states that might believe it, maybe 20%. But the Iranian people are so oppressed. They don't have the basic things that those of us used to living in societies that function have. Like they didn't do the investments in the infrastructure. They don't have functioning water for a lot of the country. Things like that. Things because the mullah regime did not invest that money. You were mentioning, what would they do with the money? They're not going to put it in infrastructure. They're going to invest in terror and in building more, 300-foot deep bunkers where they're going to make more bombs. That's who they are. So believe people when they've shown you over and over again.